Welcome back to part 2 of painting this bird of paradise. If you haven't seen the part 1, I will link the video in the description box. So this week we're gonna finish this plant, and we already painted all the beautiful oranges, and now we're just gonna move down and paint the body and the stem and the leaf. So let's start with mixing our colors. So it can be seen quite a few different tones and hues. So for my very light violet, I'm mixing Rosemarry Lake with a little bit phthalo blue. I'm also gonna be using some yellow, which I'm using Mayan yellow for it. I also need this very nice grayish blue tone, so I'm using phthalo blue with a little bit of Mayan yellow, and of course to gray it down we need some red or pinks, so I'm adding Rosemarry Lake because I'm trying to use limited palette usually so that my painting is cohesive. That's why instead of just a general red, I'm using Rosemarry Lake because that's the color I use throughout the painting. I also gonna need a little bit of green, and that's usually mixing yellow with blue, so I'm using again the same Mayan yellow with phthalo blue, and that creates very nice fresh green. But I noticed I need it darker, so I'm adding Indian Throne blue, which immediately darkens it. I will need even darker tones, but we're gonna worry about them later because we don't need for those first few layers, so there's no need to crowd our palette. So usually I start most of my paintings, if you've seen my videos you know what's coming, it's wet on wet technique, and it's perfect technique for your underlayers, for your base foundational layers. So in the first layer I'm gonna apply nice water glaze, and on that wet glaze I'm adding right now this violet, or more like violety pink color, and I'm applying generally in an area that I see, leaving the edges lighter where another color is gonna have to go. And with clean damp brush I just feather away the edges so we don't have anything uneven. While the glaze is damp I'm adding some yellows, and at this point it's best to leave the layer dry and not to overcrowd it with other colors because they're gonna merge while the glaze is wet and become muddy and brown. So in order for colors to stay fresh, I want this layer to dry completely, then reapply water glaze and then apply the remaining colors. So while that is drying we can go and apply a little bit of color into other areas, and that's what I'm doing on that leaf. So I'm again painting with wet on wet. I applied very nice evenly glistening water glaze on my paper, and I'm adding the colors that I see. So you can see I slightly adjusted my greens depending on the area that I need to paint. So I added a little bit more yellow into my already pre-mixed green and a little bit more blue into the other side, and so I can have all the colors that I need on that leaf without prepping big puddles of mixes on my palette. And usually when you paint with watercolors you really don't need a lot of colors, and a little bit goes a long way. So as I was painting I noticed that in that corner of the paper the glazing was not done properly, therefore my watercolors didn't settle very nicely, and it's sort of the paper felt quite waxy, so the colors you can see settled quite unevenly. But later on I will show you how I fixed and smoothed out the layer with my dry brush. So now we can leave the leaf and we go back to the beginning because the first glaze, water glaze dried, and we can reapply water and apply our remaining colors. That would be our blue and green and pink. So the paintings that you see on my channel, they mainly are watercolor, botanical watercolor paintings, and all those paintings we paint with my students on Patreon. So if you would like to follow along in real time and have a full length, few hours long video where I explain everything in greater detail, then you can become my Patreon member and learn watercolors with me. And if you are interested, I will leave the link for my Patreon tutorials in the description box. Continue with the video. So all the colors that you see me apply are applied still on a damp surface from that water glaze that we applied earlier. and I'm adding a little bit more, you can see, while the glaze is still damp. So I'm not working on a dry paper, I'm working on still the same watercolor glaze. And right before my glaze dries, I clean my brush, take all the water out, and I brush sort of through the whole body to try and reveal some of those whiter lines for the texture. So all that has to be done with clean damp brush, still on a damp surface. So now, moving along, we need really dark pigments for the underneath the body where the shadow falls. So for the green, I'm adding exact same pigments, but this time I'm adding a little bit red, and all the colors are more saturated, therefore we're creating this very dark green. And for my purple, again, the same colors, blue and Rosemarry Lake, but in way greater saturation and strength of pigments, and creating it this really dark rich color. So I'm going to be painting still wet on wet because I want those colors to have a nice soft edge, and painting with wet on wet usually helps that. So I'll apply clean water glaze without rubbing too much because I don't want to disturb the colors underneath. And now mainly I'm applying only those dark colors underneath the body of the flower, creating that really rich and dark shadow. So once you apply your colors, you want to clean your brush, take most of the water off, and run your brush along the edge of that applied color to create a light, slightly softer spread into the rest of the body. So now, while that layer is drying, we can go back to our leaf and try to fix the uneven surface. So before I was dry brushing, I applied a little bit more color for strengthening the tonal values, and now with quite dry paint and small brush, I dry brush entire leaf with tiny brush strokes, and that way it helps to create this really smooth looking leaf, even though the layer before seemed quite uneven and I really struggled. Using that same dry brush technique, I'm applying the detail and the shadows. You can see I started with lighter color and then switched to darker and created the tonal values that I can see in the reference photo. So once I've done that, I clean my brush and take the excess water and leave it damp, and then I scrub gently the area with this clean down brush and dab it with kitchen towel, and that way I can retrieve some of the light, creating those lighter veins. Of course, we can't forget the stem, so I slightly brighten up my green by adding some yellow, and it's gonna be perfect mix for it. So I applied a little bit water on my stem before again, so most of the layers have been done wet on wet because lots of different tones that has to be applied, and if you want multiple colors mix with each other nicely, white and wet is perfect for it. So I'm using two colors for the stem, so this very nice bright yellowy green at the top, and as it goes down it turns to more bluer tone, to which I added a little bit more green into my already pre-mixed blue color that we used for the main body part. Of course, lots of dark colors on the right hand side for that very deep dark shadow, and right before the glaze dried I'm applying a bit more color. And you can see now me trying to unclean up my paper that I made a big mess with dropping some paint on my paper. So what I'm doing is I took a very little synthetic brush, picked up a little bit of clean water and just gently rubbed the area that got contaminated and dabbed with kitchen towel, and I think I managed to salvage it. Right, so now continue with the painting. I'm going back to the beginning, and no more wet on wet technique from now on. Now I need to build the tonal values, and I do that by glazing wet on dry. So I'm using damp paint on dry paper and focusing on smaller sections at a time and just on a smaller area at a time, applying color in the area that I want, then cleaning my brush, taking water out and softening all around the edges and feather it into the surrounding area so I don't have very hard like edges or watermarks left. So that way I'll keep building the color until tonally it's correct. So now that that is done, I let it dry. I pick a brush that has a very nice point and I start applying texture. So in order to create this very linear but uneven texture, I took my brush, picked up some dry pigment, took the excess off my towel and held my brush a little bit more vertical and let the bristles sort of glide through the surface of the paper, because that paper, even though it's hot pressed paper, it still has a little bit of texture, and it created that little broken uneven lines. After doing that, I went back to the stem and did the exact same thing I did on the leaf. So little brush strokes, small brush, this is number 0 Windsor&Newton brush, and I'm using white dry paint, and from the top to the bottom I dry brush, filling tiny little sort of gaps in the glaze, lighter little areas, patches, so I'm filling in with tiny brush strokes, then intensifying color. When you want to paint something very, very dark, it's much easier to get to that really black point, almost black point with dry brush when you paint with watercolors. And after doing that, the painting is finished. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, thumbs up, please subscribe, and I will see you in the future videos. Bye bye.